There's a secret that nobody talks about, something so hidden, so subtle, that most founders and investors never even realize it's there. It's the silent divide between those who barely scrape by and those who explode to the top of the game, the kind of tactic that elite investors obsess over because it unravels all the noise and points to what really moves the needle. You're tired of hearing the same recycled advice, tired of watching your vision stall while everyone else seems to pull ahead. You know those moments when the frustration hits so hard you feel like giving up? The countless hours spent crafting the perfect pitch, the endless strategizing about markets, users, and scaling. It all feels stuck in some vicious cycle that no amount of hustle seems to break. That's because you're missing the invisible thread that connects success, the heartbeat of true go-to-market mastery that elite investors don't just look for, they demand it. You've been told that product is everything, that if you build it right, they will come. You've been told growth hacks, virality loops, paid ads, and content marketing are the golden tickets. But here's the harsh truth nobody wants to admit. It's not just the product or the tactic. It's the deep, unshakable clarity about who you are serving, how you are solving a problem that burns so bad it won't let customers sleep, and how you embed yourself so seamlessly into their lives that quitting you isn't an option anymore. That's the hidden approach. Underneath every pitch deck, beneath every shiny demo, it's about raw, uncompromising focus on a market so narrow, so precise, that your product becomes not a luxury, but a lifeline. This precision is what separates the startups that crash into oblivion from those that ignite unstoppable fires, and investors obsess over this because it's the closest thing to a crystal ball. But it's not enough to just find a niche. Your go-to-market tactic must live inside your customers' core pains so intimately that your company doesn't feel like an option. It becomes a necessity. Why? Because investment is a bet on confidence, on proof that this painful problem can't be ignored or solved by anyone else. And that proof, that magnetic force, is born not just from product-market fit, but from what's often overlooked: the intensity of your initial customer obsession, combined with the speed and ruthlessness to iterate before scaling. Elite investors can smell when founders are trying to scale too soon, when they chase vanity metrics and buzzwords instead of bitter conversations with their smallest, most desperate users. The hidden tactic? Giving up the illusion that growth comes first, and instead, going deep first. Fierce, brutal, exhausting depth. Here's where most founders falter. They think they can move fast and break things. But in reality, moving fast without focus breaks everything. Growth without deep understanding and connection is just noise. Investors see this all the time. The sprawling product that tries to please everyone ends up pleasing no one. The trick is to laser focus, ruthlessly kill features, streamline your message, and build a narrative so clear it's unforgettable to your niche. Investors look for teams that don't just know their customer. They breathe the customer's world, think in their language, and adapt instantly to their feedback. This isn't about surveys or analytics alone. It's about obsession. Founders who call their users daily, who beg for brutal honesty, who pivot with speed until the pain disappears. These are the founders who get funded, who get partnerships, who get growth that lasts. But waiting for endless feedback can't be the whole story. That can kill momentum. Here's the no BS part. Elite investors want to see the founder's independent thinking, aligned with customer obsession. You must interpret feedback through the lens of your unique vision, not paralyze yourself with it. This is the delicate dance, neither stubbornly ignoring the market nor blindly chasing its whims. It's a constant calibration of intuition and empathy, science and art. Investors get excited when they see founders who don't just react, they anticipate. They use customer insights to invent new categories, new angles, new problems customers didn't even know they had. They don't settle for the obvious solution. They hunt the hidden root cause, crafting offers and go-to-market plans that feel like breakthroughs, not band-aids. Another wildly overlooked tactic that cuts through all the noise is how your go-to-market leverages narrative. Not just any story, but stories that transform your customer's identity. Elite investors aren't only investing in products or numbers, they're betting on stories that people want to belong to. When your marketing and sales don't just push features, but change how your customers see themselves, when you offer them a new role in a bigger picture, you win on a level few ever reach. This is why narratives matter more than ever. A founder who can shape a movement around their product, rallying customers not just as users but as raving fans, taps into a market force that's unstoppable. Your GTM tactic has to include this storytelling alchemy, not as some slick sales trick, but as a raw, authentic conversation that redefines what's possible for your audience. Now, imagine combining all these insights into a single, ruthless GTM tactic that elite investors instinctively look for. It starts with obsession, deep, relentless understanding of a smallest, most tortured slice of the market. Then it demands agility, the brutal speed to test, learn, iterate, and kill anything that doesn't serve that core pain. Next, it layers vision, the ability to synthesize feedback into new angles and solutions that reshape categories rather than chase them. All of this wrapped in storytelling that shifts identity, changing customers from passive consumers to active believers. This combination, obsession, agility, vision, story, is the hidden GTM tactic. It's not on any checklist. It doesn't have a catchy name. It's messy, intense, lonely work that forces you to tear down illusions and face brutal truths. But it's also the only approach that moves investors from polite interest to burning conviction. What's worse is that this tactic isn't easy to see, because it happens in shadows. Weeks of grueling customer calls, dozens of painful pivots, quiet moments of despair where founders question everything. The world screams for grand launches and rapid scaling, but investors know the real work happens in that slow, grinding crucible of focus and refinement. To get their trust, you have to demonstrate that you've already done the hardest work. It's why investors dig into your earliest users, your story of discovery and adaptation, and how intimately you know your market's darkest pain. They want proof you haven't skipped the crucial steps, because every crack in that foundation risks the whole venture collapsing. It's naive to think that chasing the latest buzzwords, the newest growth hacks, or flashy demos will get you there. That's cheating yourself and your future. Elite investors aren't betting on hype. They're betting on depth that creates unshakable foundations. The hidden GTM tactic they want is the relentless market mastery that blends precision with speed, insight with action, and passion with strategy. Investors are looking for founders who don't just want to win, but who understand winning means knowing your market better than it knows itself, so everyone else's attempts feel like noise, irrelevant, weak. This awakening, this realization that success means moving beyond the easy fantasy of scaling first, is what separates winners from crash and burn stories. It demands courage to sit with uncertainty, to lean into brutal feedback loops, to accept that the fastest way forward sometimes means slowing down and digging deeper. Investors sense this attitude immediately. It's a vibe, a pattern, a discipline that radiates from founders who are in it for the long haul, who aren't dazzled by quick wins but are building legacies. That kind of founder becomes a magnet for capital, partnerships, and unwavering support, because they prove they're not just chasing a trend, they're carving out a future. If you feel like your efforts so far aren't breaking through, that you're stuck in a loop, it's not because you lack ambition or talent. It's because you haven't yet anchored your go-to-market in this deep hidden tactic. You might have the product, the team, the pitch, but without this ruthless market mastery, your growth will always be fragile, your story weak, and investors cautious. Remember, they're not just buying a business, they're buying into a founder's understanding of why this business exists and how it can dominate. The secret weapon is this invisible thread, a relentless, burning obsession combined with agile execution and visionary storytelling that turns products into movements and market potential into explosive growth. Master this and doors open. Conversations with investors shift from skeptical to excited. Customers don't just sign up, they evangelize. Your company doesn't just compete, it rewrites the game. The market isn't a battle anymore. It's a home where your vision thrives. This is the hidden GTM tactic elite investors look for, because it's the ultimate signal of hope, power, and lasting impact. It's the quiet but intense fire that forges legends, the code embedded in the DNA of outliers who refuse to be average, who burn brighter because they chose to live beyond comfort, beyond illusions, beyond limitations. And that fire? It starts here, with a bold choice, to focus, to listen, to pivot, and to tell stories that move mountains. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, just deep, Ruthless alignment with what the market truly hungers for, combined with the courage to build and rebuild until the world can't live without what you create. That's the tactic, and it's waiting for those who dare to seek it, embrace it, and wield it. Are you ready to be one of them?